Hey guys, as promised, I'm doing my first video on YouTube, and today I'm talking about five different things that you have to keep in mind when you're shooting with a Mate 20 Pro or a Mate 20 series of Huawei, and also with a P30 or a P30 Pro. And let's start with the first thing. First thing I want to talk about today is super macro mode. If we go with in the more setting, we go into super macro mode. So if we get closer to a flower, we can keep it in focus. I'm at 2 centimeters, 2.5 about from the flower, and I can keep it in focus. But I show you that super macro mode is a mode that you have thanks to the wide angle lens. So if we go into photo, the normal mode, the auto mode, then we go into the wide angle lens, but we go at 0.9x. We have about the same zoom as the main lens, but we are in the wide angle lens, so we can get close to the flower and get it in focus. You see, if I go into 1x, I can't get it in focus, and I'm at the same distance. If I go into 0.9, I can get it in focus. This is the first thing. For the second thing, I want to talk about a thing that mostly of you don't do. Keep in mind the color profile at the top. If we tap there, then we see standard, vivid colors, or smooth colors. The most of you shoot in vivid colors mode. You see, the colors are bumped up. The photo is more appealing, but is not so great. If we go in standard color, we see more natural colors, and that is better. Another thing I want to talk about is to use the HDR mode. If we shoot normally in auto mode, the HDR is automatic. But when we have a lot of contrast in the photo, a lot of bright areas and shadow areas, we should enable the HDR. We tap there, then we enter the HDR mode, and if I take a photo, you see the shadow areas are a lot brighter. So keep in mind, use HDR photo when you have a lot of shadow areas like that, or a lot of bright areas. For example, if I take a photo like this, then the shadow areas will be brightened up, you see. Okay, then let's talk about portrait. If we go into portrait section, the main thing I want to talk about is don't use the zoom, because in portrait mode, but also in aperture mode, you see, the zoom is not optical. In these two modes, the phones doesn't use the telephoto lens. So when you are zooming in these modes, the zoom will be only digital. The last thing I want to talk about is for more professional photographer. If we go into pro mode and we go in options, then we tap in resolution. It doesn't matter what resolution you are choosing, because in pro mode the resolution will be always the 40 megapixels. Also, if I enable 10 megapixel and then I take a photo, this photo will be 40 megapixel, even if I have selected 10 megapixel. So I've done my first video, and these were the 5 most important things for me to keep in mind when you're shooting with a Mate series or a P30 or a P30 Pro. So let's write a comment and tell me if you liked the video, and let's see each other in the next video. So write me in the comment what do you want in the next video. Cheers.